what to kind of expect. I mean, any card game is going to be based on a certain level of draw and randomosity, if you will. But this one has a good level of strategic uh, feature to it, in my opinion, more so than Hearthstone. Hearthstone has kind of uh, put the fate of a match more so from strategic planning onto random uh, luck, I guess. Um,
Let
so
me
this
stop
one
you there
has
real
a
quick, Stu. To
yep.
anybody watching the live stream, anybody that watches this video, sorry, my shit screwed up on my OBS side. So basically, I've been playing Rocket League and Wildlands and what else? Worms.
Worms.
Levi, what was Levi playing? Real quick, go.
Justice to finish Persona 5 and Near Automata.
Perfect.
And Picross.
Stu's explaining his now, and we have big news for you guys. Sorry about that. Comment down below about how much I suck or whatever. I don't care.
Technology.
Yeah, technology actually failed me on this one. I don't know. It's because I moved my PC and I took it out and blew it out the other day. Took all the cards out and everything and cleaned it up. And
Yeah.
since I've plugged it back in, OBS was like, I don't recognize any of your shit. So,
Oh, great. Thanks.
and actually, my nephew he informed me on our chat. He's like, I
Oh.
can't hear anything. I was like, oh shit.
Well, thanks for that heads up.
Yeah, definitely.
We always appreciate the
Thanks, Joey.
info.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Looking out, sir.
Looking out for Uncle.
All right, guys. Besides, like I said, some of the co-op experience and Elder Scrolls Legends that I've been spending time on, still working my way on the mobile front on Injustice 2. Still plunging away there. It's amazing how much I can enjoy that game without actually fighting in it. It's pretty remarkable.
It's funny that you should say that because I'm having the same experience with the console version.
Dang it.
I mostly just watch the AI fight.
Oh, really? Really? And you get perks from that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, that works out pretty well. So you can like eat meals and
Vacuum, laundry, all the shit you got to do. You could be fighting all that time, even though you're not fighting. You just have
That's pretty cool.
for you.
Nice. That's an interesting.
And what's even funnier is, as lazy as that sounds, I do learn while I'm watching. I learn combos that I never would have thought of.
Nice. That's cool. Let's see. Also, there's been an update. We were speaking of Rick and Morty earlier. In Pocket Morty's, which is a mobile title for iOS and Android, they have now added multiplayer. If you're unfamiliar with... Yes, sir.
Now I gotta play it.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with Rick or Morty, this game is still enjoyable. It allows you to collect different Mortys. And there are special multiplayer Mortys that you can trade with friends and also battle. So yeah, this is basically Pokemon set in a Rick and Morty universe. And you can customize your Rick. All the different versions of Ricks are available and you can do stuff with. So yeah, check this game out. The new update happened 2 weeks ago, I think, or so. And I just finally got around to experiencing it. I've yet to really do any multiplayer since I don't have any other friends playing this game, unfortunately. But hopefully that will change.
That's going to change in about 30 minutes.
Download it now. It'll be ready to go.
Yeah, what am I doing? I need to do it now.
But yeah, it's a great supplementary experience to the show. Like I said, Harry mentioned season 3 begins the end of the month. And so this is a great way to kind of Viga, I would mention to you that if you do begin watching the show, definitely do this along with the experience. It's well worth it.
I will.
So that just pretty much
watch the show, Levi. Stop being a pussy and just watch the show.
All right.
It'll make you want some Szechuan sauce from McDonald's.
Yeah. Apparently. Via not only the episode but last week's episode too of our podcast.
Oh, right.
I certainly hope we can live up to the hype.
I mean, if they can somehow get McDonald's to get that sauce out, man, I'm impressed.
Gotta get that sauce.
I get that sauce, Morty. That's all I need. That's what all adventures are about, Morty. Just sauce.
All right, guys. Some news to kind of get to here. First up, we have very interesting. If you follow us over on Facebook, we have game news that some stuff we're into, some stuff we're not. I mean, we just like to basically kind of cover all of our bases as much as possible. We got news that, of course, if you're into Overwatch, as many gamers are, Doomfist is a new character that they've recently released with a new map. And I hear he's good. He's of the evil alignment, so to speak, not on Overwatch's side. There's two factions in the game, Overwatch and a different one, a non-Overwatch one. But he's got a big Jack's hand that he pummels people with, from what I saw in the video. But anyway, it looks kind of cool. If you're a fan of Overwatch, check him out. He's a lot of fun, from what I could tell. Let's see. Halo 5 is getting 4K support on the Xbox One X. Big surprise there, I guess. Let's see. This one kind of caught my news. This news kind of caught my eye, I guess I should say. In a conversation, Sony, obviously we know that Sony isn't done with the PlayStation 4 Pro. This isn't going to be the last console they ever make. But we did get some surprising news, at least surprising to me, at how soon we might expect to see a PlayStation 5. Would it surprise either of you guys, Vigai or Harry, that we could see a PlayStation 5 as early as late 2018? Say fall 2018?
Just hearing you utter the phrase PlayStation 5 is strange and beautiful and alien to me. So it seems really weird to start talking about something that I've never even heard said out loud.
Okay.
But yeah, it does make sense. It seems like PlayStation was like, okay, we won the console race this generation. Here's your PS4 Pro. This is as good as PS4 games are ever going to look. Enjoy that. Then what? You know, there's got to be a next step. There's always a next step, and this is it.
Right. Huh. Yeah, I would say that's, I mean, it's like I said, it's not unexpected, but it does seem soon. I would think, I mean, when you look at how long the PlayStation, 2 and even 3, really. 3 was what, 10 years? 8 years? Something like that?
Yeah, because when we went from the 360 to the 1... Yeah,
that was
into
6 or 7 years.
Yeah, there was a couple there that were many.
And the PlayStation 4 has been out. This is its 3rd year, right? Am I wrong in that?
That's pretty close. It just seems like now, people are just pumping out systems as quick as they could fucking make them.
Especially because the PlayStation 4 Pro has been out less than a year, and now you're talking about a PlayStation 5 almost a year after the PlayStation 4 Pro came out. It seems like, why waste resources on a PlayStation 4 Pro? Why not just let the...
That's like when they did the Xbox Slim that, did, or whatever the hell that thing is. Didn't they... Now, wasn't there an Xbox...
S?
Yeah. And then...
Xbox One S is like what it was. That's the latest piece of hardware that Microsoft has put out.
Right.
And then November, we're going to get the Xbox One X.
Right. So, I mean, they're kind of going along the same lines, but a little bit more drawn out.
But here's the thing. I feel... So, let me ask you this. If Sony does end up dropping a PlayStation 5 fall 2018, when do you think we'll see Microsoft drop a next-gen Xbox?
1 year later.
Yeah.
You think so? 2019?
If they stay on their current track record, yeah.
Because, see, once again, I feel like that's too soon. Why am I going to need to buy an Xbox One X if within the next year you're going to put out an Xbox 5 or whatever you're calling it this time? I don't know.
A scientist found some new flops.
New teraflops.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I don't know. I personally feel, maybe it's just my old school nostalgia crotchety old man speaking, but
Curmudgeon.
give it time. You know,
Yeah.
I don't love games that come out every year, and I really don't love consoles that come out every year.
Yeah,
You know,
let's not do a Madden slash Assassin's Creed model
Oh, good. Somebody was
for
going to say
consoles.
Assassin's
for
Creed.
hardware, please.
Yeah, that just seems crazy. Number one, I'm not that, you know, flush with cash that I could just pick up a new console every year. And secondly, like, give it time to mature. Get one of the things that I've always loved. I mean, if you look at the games from last generation and look at games that first came out at release compared to games at the end of that life cycle,
Oh,
there's
the shit that see what you're doing though
yeah.
is you're not giving developers time enough to create new engines
Mm-hmm.
and really take them to the next step because just like you
Exactly.
said, man, you've seen games from let's say Ubisoft come out and they look a certain way when a console releases. But
Mm-hmm.
then, 8 years later, when that console is nearing its end, like the games that Ubisoft's making then are far and above beyond, that first one that they put out, maybe that even dropped with the console. You're not giving your developers time to really tinker with the machine and the engines that the machine can run. I mean, is
Right,
it?
like
I think it's bad for them, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like the whole market right now is really, really weird. Also, a disclaimer: the video that I have on our live stream that is not an actual PS5.
well,
That is
to,
an artist concept.
to give an example of what Harry's talking about, the way things used to be with pushing your machine, getting every single bit out of it that you can up until stretch out that console life
Right.
cycle as much as possible. Look at a game like Super Mario Brothers 3. That game has no right being on a system as old as the NES. That game looks good. That game plays incredibly well. The map that they added for it, everything about Mario 3 was a masterpiece, and it had no right being on an NES. That's the way things used to be. You used to have to
Right?
sit around as a programmer and think about using 10 or 11 different tricks on your game just to get that code to fit into that limited cartridge or disc or
Yeah.
whatever you have. And I don't think I've seen a game that really pushes it like that since maybe GTA 5.
Hmm. Well, I mean, why, if you're going to just have a next console come out within the next 6 months, that,
Right.
why develop for a current console? Why push that? Why? It's just, I don't know.
See, and that's the other thing too. Like we have a lot of new IPs this year
Hmm.
coming out of E3, but I mean, if they're gonna release another console by whatever fall of 2018, so are you guys gonna create even newer IPs for it? Or are we just gonna go, hey, you're gonna get this game, but now it's gonna be in 4K and in whatever the hell this new machine plays at?
Yeah. I don't
Like,
know.
do
That's
the developers have time, the guys that are just now coming out with new IPs, to turn around and make new engines and new IPs for even greater consoles? Or are they just going to go, here's the same game that we released, a year ago, but it's just now
yeah,
it's
we just
it's
updated it
fitted
for
it for
4K.
yeah, for this
Mm.
console.
And I get, like, developers, especially your AAA big company publishers. I know they get, like, development kits and whatnot well before the console actually comes out, so there's stuff to play when it does come out. But
Right.
still, that does not produce the same type of experiences by the end of a console's lifetime. I mean, those games dropping on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 looked so good after 5 years of that console's life, in comparison to where it started. So
Yeah,
I don't know, just something to consider.
I can't think of one right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there was a X Game One that came out when the Xbox One
Hmm.
dropped, and then you look at it, and actually I can tell you exactly what it is. It's Battlefield. Battlefield Hardline
Mm.
came out. It dropped right when the Xbox One came out, and it was cool, man. It looked great and everything. But then you have
Yeah.
Battlefield One that dropped out, you know, towards I mean many. I guess it wasn't years later. It was
Yeah,
years
it wasn't
later.
a year.
But I mean, it was a
Yeah.
couple years down the road, man, and that thing looks freaking awesome.
Yeah. There's already improvement to be seen.
Right,
So,
and that here's the thing between the Xbox One S and the Xbox freaking One X or whatever the bullshit they got going on, like you could have drawn that
yeah.
out way longer. I
Yeah.
mean, like don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, like 4K is where gaming needs to be, but anything after that, man, it's just weird to me.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
let's just be honest though, with the Xbox One X or whatever coming out, that's really just Sony firing back. I mean, they have to, they have to play the market.
So let me ask you guys this. As far as a marketing strategy for the Xbox, PlayStation, do you think it's better to come out first or to come out cheaper? Or, I mean, obviously it's a balance between the two, but where do you think the balance lies? Do you think they would rather come out first and get early adopters, or do you think they'd rather try to, come out after the fact but at a cheaper cost?
Well, the dream is to have your cake and eat it too, right?
All right.
That's what, yeah.
So I guess the easy answer is both. The true answer is probably going to be far more complex. We don't really understand what happens at these board meetings. We don't really know what happens in Japan. So there's a lot I don't know, and it's a tough one to answer.
If I think what really pushes the market more than anything is first.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably we've seen statistically that the console that came out first typically succeeded over the console that came out after the fact.
Right.
The PlayStation 3, did that come out before 360?
I think it did, but only barely, and it was quite a bit more expensive.
And the price point was the hitter there. I think the 360 dropped within 6 months.
Right.
At almost $200 cheaper.
That's an example of the opposite of what you would expect happening. PS3 was first, but it was way, way, way too expensive.
But PlayStation 4 came out first and at $100 cheaper. And I think we've really seen the success of the PlayStation 4 show how much that matters.
Also, anybody watching, sorry guys, feel free to hit the comments.
Yeah, if you guys have any input on this, we're definitely curious to see, what matters to you. Is it price or
a
is
live
it
chat
ability?
there and jump in.
I'm sorry, Vagai.
I think that the reason the PS3 was so expensive when it first came out was because they were pushing so hard to be first.
Yeah.
That they ended up using a setup that was so convoluted that it sounded like a Harrier jet taking off. And it was expensive as shit to make, but it was the cutting edge at the time. Yeah. So by the time the 360 came out, things were scaled back to a price that Americans at least could afford, and that's the one we bought.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes a lot to show, people do speak with their pocketbooks, I do want the latest and greatest, but I also got to, pay bills.
I also have adulting shit to do, unfortunately.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, it'll be interesting to see when we actually do see these. I personally feel like that's too soon to see a PlayStation 5. I kind of think it'll be at least 2019 before we see a next-gen console.
I'm telling you what, man, I'm with Levi, too. Just the fact that you're even saying that is like, what?
Just trying to imagine what next... Just trying to imagine what next-gen is impossible for my brain.
Again, for all you people watching, that is not an actual PS5 that I have up on the video right now. That is just a concept. I don't want anybody being like, dude, what was that you had in your live stream? Is that the new PS5? Like, no, that's just an artist concept.
Yeah.
So, what are next-gen graphics going to be like? Everybody says the same thing every time a new gen comes out. They go, oh, well, it's going to look like reality. You can't tell the two apart. We're not there yet.
No.
I mean, if 4K is what we're pushing for, I mean, you got to expect to see a higher resolution than 4K in a next gen. I mean, you got to think by 2019, which is when I honestly expect next gen consoles to at least be talked about with specs and things like that. I think we're going to see some interesting opportunities unless we see a dramatic change with something like I don't know, VR or AR or something like that, unless there's a drastic shift in things like that. But in any case, I do believe that we're going to it'll have to be a feature change. I know prior to the podcast you were talking about you think the next consoles are going to have to do something that PCs are already doing, but cheaper. And I mean, that's kind of the role of a console. You know what I mean?
Well, no, what I said is they're going to have to do something that a PC can't compare with.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Affordably speaking, it can't. Like, okay, every time a new console comes out, like when the PS4 came out, everybody was like, "Oh God, this looks great." If you
Yeah,
had the money and the time and the know-how, you could easily put together a PC that would outdo that graphics-wise, right?
sure.
That's
Yeah,
always going to be the case, but
yeah.
that becomes cost prohibitive, right? When you're
It can
making
be.
a
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
decision
sure.
can be.
between building a $1,500 to $2,000 rig, or just go buy a $400 console.
Yeah.
They're going to have to continue down the road of trying to just make that price point so far removed from what you would spend on a PC rig that does the same thing that
Yeah.
it's just going to eat that market, because there aren't many markets left to eat. The PC gamer market is still there.
You know, and the funny thing that it's funny that you say that too, because with all these consoles and shit coming out, man, like I do want to Switch for sure. But me and Ironclad have been talking. This computer that I'm running on right now is fairly outdated, and it's starting to kind of shoot craps. My hard drive is going out, and I think I'm gonna start building a new rig. You know, like I would rather
Yeah, there you
invest
go.
money into just building a new rig the way that I want it, not like this one where I kind of bought it and tweaked it.
Yeah.
Opposed to going and buying, you know, a PS4, or waiting for this new PlayStation, quote
It's
unquote,
like
5 or whatever.
it's kind of like the decision of, hey, are you going to go out and spend $100,000 on a Maserati, or are you going to buy the Ford Mustang you can afford?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, you know, it's like I can go buy a console for $600 and just drop it all right there, or I can just, you know, pay here and there at Micro Center and really build something that's gonna run for years.
What I mean is, when a company like Sony they know that they've got a loyal fan base big enough that they can crank out, let's say, 50 million of the same machine, all the same working parts, all the same materials, 50 million of them. That becomes cost effective. And that versus Joe Schmo building his PC the way he wants it built, there's no comparison between costs there.
That's true, but I think what is more appealing than that is the fact that when you build, or whenever, regardless of whether, if you're playing PC games, you're going to have to go in and change settings for certain things. If I'm playing Battlegrounds Unknown and I want to switch to, Fallout 4 in VR or something, I guarantee you I'm going to have to go in and probably fuck with some settings at some point to try and get everything optimized to look the way I want it to. Whereas with a console, it's all plug and play.
It's plug and play. It's standardized ahead of time.
Exactly.
And I think that's when it comes down to it. That's why I'm not a PC gamer. I'm fucking lazy. I want it done for me. Is what I want. I'm paying high enough prices that it should be done for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, guys, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on PC versus console gaming and the next-gen consoles, and what you think the timeline for next-gen consoles should be. Is it going to be too soon for us to go ahead and see a console next year, 2018? Or do you think, give it a little more time, let these mature like a fine wine?
It's like E3's over and we're all so starving for gaming news that we're like, yeah, PlayStation 5.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
I don't think big breaking news is meant to come out every month,
No, I don't think so either. But like I said, this article did surprise me, so I thought it was worth noting and talking about. But
totally.
In other gaming news, I got this article from Vox Media. Hearthstone, we got new news. Guys, I'm a big CCG guy, big card game guy. Hearthstone is one of my faves, and the new expansion, Knight of the Frozen Throne, is going to focus on mainly undead type of themes. Comes with 135 cards, a new single-player mission or missions. It looks like it's dropping next month, come August. I know neither one of you guys played these games, so I won't waste too much time on it, but I do got to mention it as it's something that it is near and dear to my heart, and we'll stay on top of it, see what it does. But
sounds good.
Let's see. Xbox One could be getting a long time feature that we've seen in the Steam format, which I think it's crazy that Sony and Microsoft have not already adopted some of these features, such as wish lists and gifting options. But it looks like gifting may be coming to the Xbox One by the end of the year. This is a feature that I think has needed to exist for a long time coming. Let's go ahead and give you some of the actual facts. But Mike Ybarra, I believe is how it's pronounced, replied to a question on Twitter, which he basically said that gifting is not far off. Somebody tweeted at Microsoft saying, hey, when is this feature coming? You guys looking into it, or what's going on? And he basically said, yeah, this is something that will be coming, and it's not far off. I know that's very vague, but I think that in a console, it's much more appealing than a PC. Because as we just mentioned, PC has so many variables to take in. You have graphics card, CPU, you have power supplies. You know, what can your machine do? What is it capable of? Like we said, consoles are preset plug-and-play machines. You're ready to go. I know that if I buy you a game on your Xbox from my Xbox, it's going to work. It's going to play. Same thing with your PlayStation. If I buy you a game on PlayStation that I'm playing, it's going to work for you. So, and I think this encourages a cooperative experience with games, which is something I love. So I'm all for this. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. Guys, what are your feelings?
Gifting is great, but what I would like to see is grifting.
Grifting?
Yeah. You know,
explain.
Be like, hey, I bought you this game. You buy an Xbox One. Okay, I bought an Xbox One. What game did you buy? Just kidding, I didn't buy shit. Long grift. Long grift. Okay. I didn't play out the way I was hoping.
The hell are you doing,
I had
Levi?
a feeling. Okay. So, were there any games, Guy, let's just say I had a PlayStation 4. What game would you gift me to get me to experience?
Injustice 2.
All right. Fair enough. Legitimately, is that?
I should probably think of something that's a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, but also you want something that's going to cause people to play with you. You know what I mean? Like,
true, and there's nothing like a fighting game for one-on-one hanging out.
Now, a fighting game, in my opinion, is more designed for a couch co-op experience. But I think
when you've got netcode like this, it might as well be a couch play thing.
Nice. Okay, fair enough. Harry, how about you? I know you're on the Xbox side of things. What game would you gift Vi Guy, we'll say, if he had an Xbox?
Oh, man, good one. Worms.
There you go. Right on. That's cool. That would be a good one. I would say for you guys, I would want like a larger cooperative experience. I've really had a lot of fun with, of course, Battlefield. The latest Battlefield's been a good one. That's a lot of fun. Oh, you know what? I think I'll do a throwback. This might be an Xbox One backwards compatible title, I believe, but N Plus. That's always a fun multiplayer experience. Good platformer, fun group game. Is that on Xbox One?
Yeah, I own that game, but it's never played.
Yeah.
My roommate bought that, and I think it just didn't age. It didn't age well.
Yeah. Huh.
Real quick.
It looks and plays exactly like the original. So go ahead.
I got a shout out to Wrong Eye 70. Wrong Eye 70. He's in the chat.
Okay. Nice. Thanks, Wrong Eye.
He caught my mistake earlier, so. Thanks.
What mistake was that?
Oh, with our audio.
With the audio. Gotcha. Wrong Eye.
Wrong Eye 70.
Well, Wrong Eye 70, if you're still chat, go ahead and let us know what game you would like others to co-op with a gifted experience. I think it's a good marketing ploy, and depending on how well it goes with Microsoft, I'm sure we'll see this become a standard in console. Let's just say you guys did have a Switch. You think there's any co-op experience that would Switch. I mean, I know of Arms, which recently came out, like was that a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Mario Kart 8 is a co-opable experience, but I just don't
Yeah.
really know what's happening with the
I
Switch to
don't think
really
there's
make
a
it.
whole lot right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
Of
Mario Kart's
multiplayer.
yeah. I mean, Mario Kart's the first one that came to my mind. So
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what we would have to play.
yeah. I think that'd be a good one, especially something that we could all play instead of. I mean, Arms is more of a one-on-one experience, but Mario Kart, what? Yeah, I guess you could get up to 8 people, right?
Yeah. Or more, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this feature will be as good as it is on Steam at the minimum. I would like to see a wish list added as well. Are there any features you guys would like to see come to consoles that maybe you experience on PC or somewhere else?
Hmm.
Mine's a wish list just because it's hard to keep track. And I love the way that Steam sends me a notification that says, hey, this game on your wish list is on sale. Come get it. Especially doing a Steam sale. I think I had like 50 games on sale on my wish list.
I'd like it if a console came with a keyboard just for the browser.
Hmm.
I mean,
Every
not just for
console
the
does
browser,
need
but
to
for
have a
chat.
browser, so yeah, why not?
Right, and the browsers are usually pretty forgettable. PS4 browser, on the other hand, is one that I use daily, and
Nice, really.
with something I use more often than a PC. Yeah, I'd like some better input devices.
Okay, cool. Harry, how about you? What are you? Any features you think would like to see on your console of choice?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, by the way, Wrong Eye 70 says COD2 or Rocket League. He would gift.
Oh, Rocket League would be a good one to
Rocket
get.
League would be a really good one to gift
Yeah.
because there's people that still haven't played that, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
And
for
Play it.
sure. Yeah.
And that I gotta say that's possibly the most multi-platform game out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket League's got
Well,
its hands in everything.
You could reach a bigger number of your living friends with that than probably any other game.
With opposed to your dead friends, right? Yeah, like what?
Well, yeah, they ain't playing shit.
Right now, Rocket League is coming to the Switch. That would be a good one to gift for Switch, and it's going to be cross-play.
Oh,
with
Rocket League
Xbox
is.
players.
Yeah, man. See, and
So-
that's the thing too that Rocket League's finally done, is that they've made themselves completely cross-platform with everybody.
Well, not completely. I don't believe there's going to be any cross-platform with the Sony PlayStation. So I think it's just going to be.
Come on, Sony,
Xbox.
stop being.
I think that's the case.
Grumpy
Now,
old Japanese.
the one other
men.
title I might suggest gifting if I had more time in my life is, of course, Minecraft, which is, from what I understand, cross-platform across all devices.
Well, you're right. I think
yeah.
Minecraft's got to be.
Yeah, because that was their big announcement at E3.
And that one's definitely a hell of a lot fun to
Dude,
play.
we should play that
with a group. So
Yeah.
Me and you haven't played that in a minute.
No, it's been quite some time.
Dude,
so yeah,
let's get down on that.
I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, those are both really good choices, I think. Good to know. I like that choice. Let me ask you this, Harry. We got back into Rocket League recently, after months away, probably. Do you feel like it was as accessible? I mean, we struggled quite a bit. Was it just shaking the rust off our skills, or do you think it's become a little less accessible because those who do play a little more consistently than what we play?
No, man. Actually, I think it was just shaking the rust off. I mean,
Yeah,
because
okay.
I mean, for me, I can't say that for you. I don't know how you feel about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, because when I really get on that game and I
Yeah.
play it and pay attention to it, I mean, I'm a pro for a reason. You know, like I kick some ass in that game.
Yeah.
But man, that
Right on.
like, we did get our asses kicked last the
Yeah,
other night.
it
was
kind of hurt my
bad.
feelings a
It
little
did.
bit. I'm
Like,
semi-pro,
it hurt.
but I still got some dignity.
Yeah, like it hurt inside a little bit.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
In any case, that's pretty much everything I've got. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we give this one a wrap?
No, it's been a pretty robust episode.
Didn't you have some like Netflix?
On closing, yes, I was going to mention Castlevania has an animated series which recently, day before yesterday, I think, became available on Netflix. Friday, I think it came out on Netflix. If you're a fan of Castlevania or anime, this is one worth checking out. It is a mature listing, so there's some. I've not seen any nudity, but there is some violent, some cussing and decapitation
Oh,
stuff
you
like
know
that.
there's going to be titty monsters.
There
In
better be some titty
Castlevania,
monsters.
I've
Yeah,
never
hell
seen some titty
yeah,
monsters in
dude.
Castlevania.
But it's now it's different. Now it's TV.
If it was a Persona
We've Hey,
show,
this is the age
absolutely.
of titties. So if not now, then when?
Hey, who doesn't love some titties? I'm gonna say for sure, for sure. In any case, yeah, check out Castlevania on Netflix. It's 4 episodes. Each one's like 25 minutes, I think. It's worth watching. I've enjoyed it. I've not completed it yet. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and they're good. I liked them. Yeah, check it out. If you're not familiar with Castlevania, this does kind of give you some standing for it. But so far, we've seen Alucard, which he did not go named, but we did see him. We saw Trevor Belmont and Dracula of course, the video game fame, and the different animation sequences and whatnot will definitely remind you of the video game if you have any familiarity with them at all. So definitely check that out. But that's kind of the non-video gaming aspect that of what's making me happy this week. So check that out for sure. And I guess that's going to do it for us this week, guys. I thank you for taking time out of this blazing hot Sunday to record this for me. And thanks to our listeners and to those guys in the chat checking out our show. I sure appreciate you
Thanks,
taking
guys.
the time.
Thanks, everybody who's watching.
Head to YouTube to check out any of our recorded podcasts that we're listed there on YouTube. And then, of course, you can always go to iTunes and check out the playlist. We are a few episodes behind, so YouTube's probably going to be the best place to stay current with us. We sure appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And until next week, where you catch up with us on the gaming news of the week, as we're fond of saying, don't get caught.
Peace out.
Love your faces.